Hey guys, Sean here with OneStopSportsInvestors.com, and today I have a treat for you. I'm actually sharing what I call my sports betting blueprint of exactly what I've done over the last 10 weeks. These actual systems I've actually used, the betting amounts I've actually used, and I've seen some serious results here. I've produced on a bankroll, starting bankroll of $1,000. I was able to grow that by 386%, which is almost 4,000 worth of profits in the space of 10 weeks. And so I'm going to share that with you guys today. Now, the reason this came up, I get approached all the time. People have read my ebook, Sports Investing Secrets, and they want to get started. They don't know where they're on a sort of a limited bankroll of how they want to get started. And if you've read the book or you're still going through it, then you probably notice that I do talk about setting up multiple income streams, different betting. So you break out your bankroll, and depending on which system you want to use, you set aside a specific amount of your overall bankroll to use on that particular system. So what was happening is people were coming to me and saying they didn't actually have enough money to actually spread it out, to actually do different systems here. So what I did was I put together this thing where I actually combined all the systems under the one bankroll, or the one amount of money, and we used them, sort of all the systems under that one amount, which is $1,000 that I tested it with, and the results have actually been pretty incredible. So that's what brought this on, and I'm going to share this with you guys today. So let's move on to some of the guidelines and actually that I followed here. Now, I used three of the different programs that I talk about on my website. They're all 3-game progressions. I used all 3-game progressions. These are the sort of rules that I followed. My Bet A, if you're familiar with, and some of you guys might be familiar with some of these systems already, and how you're using them. But here was the progression amount that I used. On my Bet A, I was only betting 2% of my bankroll. To start on my $1,000, it was $20 bets. Bet B was 6%, so that was $60 bets, and then Bet C was $140 bets here. So I used this progression here. And the reason I chose this amount, it's a little bit more aggressive than what some of the systems actually recommend with their plays. But if you actually add this up here, on any given series, I'm only risking 22% of my bankroll. Where a lot of people fail with these systems, that they end up risking, they're going along, they're winning, they get a little bit greedy, and what happens is when it does actually have a loss, before they know it, they've risked 60 or 70% on that final, when that C bet loses, which it does from time to time, they've wiped out, nearly 60 or 70% of their bankroll in one shot. So I kind of wanted to limit the risk on the bankroll. Any given series, you're only risking 22%. And really what the goal is here, guys, is we're trying to make, 2% here, 3% here, 4% here. You add up small little percentages on your bankroll, and at the end of the month, you're going to see some significant returns. Then the last part was basically leveling up your bankroll once it's increased by 50%. So I started with $1,000. My next jump up level was at $1,500. Once I hit $1,500, then I would recalculate my 2%, 6%, and 14%. Now I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I actually used for this in a little bit here, and it's very, very simple, and you guys can actually download it when you want a little bit later. It's very easy to use, and I'll put together a tutorial on exactly how to use it, but it tells you exactly what your bets need to be based on your bankroll, so there's really no guesswork, and you're going to find it's probably easy. So if you're using any sort of progression systems, you might want to download it. It's free. I'm giving it to you guys as a gift, and you might find it useful for tracking your betting there. So let's just go quickly over the systems that I actually ended up using, and just to let you know my record, this was based off that 3-game progression. My total winning record during this 10-week period was 103-2. The systems that I used were Sportsbook Investing, which is one of the systems I actually talk about, one of the newer systems I actually talk about on my website. Their record there was 42-1. Just to let you know, this actually system, if you've actually followed, some of you guys are already members and subscribers, you know that they actually use a 5-game progression. I actually used it as a 3-game progression when I was doing this test to sort of limit my risk. So this loss was actually because they lost 3 in a row, but they ended up winning that 4th game. So overall, if you're following their system straight, which I am also on the side, it's a 5-game progression, and they're actually a perfect record for the last I think 3.5 or 4 months that I've actually been following them. So very good program there. 42-1 record here. Sports Betting Professor, his NCAA football picks, he went 30-1. This is the record, the series record. Sports Betting Professor, his NFL picks, 16-0. Sports Betting Professor, the NBA. Now the NBA just started a couple weeks ago, so these records are a little bit down here, but we're 8-0 on the NBA here. And then I used the Sports Betting Champ one, which some of you guys are probably familiar with that one as well. You buy the points. I do that as well. 7-0 to start off the season. Again, NBA has just started a couple weeks ago, so there's plenty more action in there. But you add it all up, it's 103-2 overall record, which is impressive in itself. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of go over to the spreadsheet. What I want to show you here, this is a spreadsheet that I put together, and like I said, I'll put together a tutorial of exactly how to use a spreadsheet a little bit lower on the page. You guys will be able to download it. When you do it, you'll be able to, when you actually download the spreadsheet, you'll get 2 tabs at the bottom here. You'll see the results one, which is the actual results that made up that 103-2 record. You can see it up here, 103, 2 losses. This was keeping it up here. And then on the other tab, the blank tab, will actually be a blank one for you guys to actually start using. If you're using any sort of progression systems, you can actually use this spreadsheet. And like I said, I'll have a tutorial video on exactly how to fill it in. But what I want to get to here is just to show you some of the results here. It started on September 5th, which was actually the first day of college football. In the system category here, I've actually put the one I was using here. So this is SBI, which is Sportsbook Investing. SBP is Sports Betting Professor. It tells you the under the tab here, we put the sport down here, which team we had, date. Very straightforward. Here's your bet A. Like I said, a little bit over on the right here, and like I said, we'll get into that on actually how to fill out this spreadsheet, because it tells you exactly what you need to bet in the other video, a little bit lower. But this is 2%. So 2% of my starting bankroll of $1,000, which is right here, is $20. So it's very easy. You put your bet in here. The line, this was actually a baseball game on Colorado, and the end result, I made a win for $14, because the Major League Baseball actually uses a money line, so it's not the same as basketball and football. But you see, my starting bank was $1,000. I made $14.29. So after the first one, I made like 1.4% return on my money. Over here, you can see the actual ROI that I've actually have done with this was 386, which is crazy. We're talking about 2.5 months, over 386% return on my initial bankroll of $1,000. That, if you've read my book, we talk about just sort of doubling your bankroll twice a year, and that's how you can take your $1,000 and turn that into $1 million in less than 5 years. Here I'm achieving almost 100%, over 100% on average per month, which is very significant. If you guys have ever put that into a compound interest calculator and see what that would turn out for you guys here. So I just want to show you sort of, it's very, very strict. It's very strict guidelines. I stick to it here. You can see that the bet A goes in here. If you lose it, then you're going to put in your bet B here. It tells you exactly what to bet on the spreadsheet. And then bet C tells you what there. So you can see which ones we went to, had to go to a bet C. We got it over here. We had a lot of bet A's. One thing I do want to bring forward is that, sometimes we go on these streaks. I think this was a streak of 11 straight A bets, and this is where people get greedy. They're like, well, instead of betting 2%, maybe I can bet 5%. Well, if you start betting 5%, then you're talking about risking 55% on any given series, and you don't want to be doing that. Yes, you'll see your bankroll increase a lot quicker, but when it does lose, and it does lose once in a while, you're gonna wipe out a lot of your profits, and you don't want to be doing that. So if we scroll down here, like I said, you guys can download this and actually look at all the results. Here was the one of the losses here. We ended up losing 3 in a row. So that thing, and if you just look at it, the increasing, you can see the increasing bankroll, just slowly but surely we go down, scroll down, keep going. The only one here, this one's still in progress because this is actually for my 10 weeks ended on Saturday, so it was 11/14, and we still have one series in the NFL that's continuing to go. So this one's still in progress, and we had one more loss here, which was our second loss, and an ending result here. You see 4,862.63. So just wanted to show that to you guys. Hope you find this information useful, and download the spreadsheet, and I'll talk to you guys soon.